And good evening and welcome. It is time for girls softball, and we are in Weslaco, Texas. Tonight is going to be the Lady Panthers of Weslaco taking on the San Benito Lady Greyhounds. I'm Scott Harrison. This is a K-West production. We appreciate everybody who is viewing this tonight on YouTube. And Weslaco, the home team, so San Benito, the Lady Greyhounds, will be batting first. And they are setting up their leadoff hitter right now, and that is Jules Garcia. And she is the shortstop tonight and wears number 5. And she is a young lady that is very scrappy out there, very aggressive. We talked to their coach before the game all about her. And again, she said this lady will get out there. She'll dive for the baseballs, go after those stolen bases, whatever is necessary. And right now, first 2 pitches, well, one's a ball, one's a strike. We do want to tell you that tonight, pitching for the Lady Panthers is Julie Rodriguez. She's a junior, wears number 18. Also, we've seen her play right field, but tonight she will be pitching. So we're glad to have you all aboard and look for an exciting night. It is a 1-2 pitch. Lady Panthers so far, they are 12-3 overall and 7-3 in district, and they have lost to Harlingen, Harlingen South, and Los Fresnos. Now, of course, they've also beat Harlingen and Harlingen South in games this season, and still waiting for a rematch with Los Fresnos. San Benito, they are 8-5 overall, and they're either 5-5 or 5-6 in district. There's a little dispute on that. We've gone to 2 different sources and got 2 different answers. Some people say they've only played 10 district games total, but talking to their coaching staff, they say they're 5-6, so you decide. But nevertheless, these teams have met one time before this season, and it was San Benito being shut out by the Lady Panthers 7-0, and that ball is going to be a roller down to third, and it is going to be thrown over the first baseman's head, and so the runner will advance to second on the air. So Garcia, first batter of the night, will get down to second base on a throwing error. And next comes up the pitcher, number 10, Faith Rodriguez. She is number 10 as far as her number, and that throwing error tonight is going to be charged to Rodriguez. Mia Rodriguez playing third tonight. And again, not a good omen to start off the game, but it is early, and we'll just have to see what happens. San Benito, of course, has a big game coming up next Monday, and they will be playing Harlingen on the road, a battle probably for the 4th seed. Again, still about another month of baseball action before we get to district games, but everybody trying to do the best they can. Lady Panthers so far, they are the 3rd seed right now in the district. And by the way, we talked about Faith coming up to bat. She's an interesting young lady. As you see her, she is batting left but throws right, and that is going to be a grounder to the pitcher, and it is dropped, and that will be another error. And we are now going to have runners at first and third. So the first 2 batters of the night reach base on errors for, they call them the Lady Hounds. And on that last error, Garcia gets over to third. Of course, we're now up to the 3rd batter in the order, Emily Delgado, I should say, and Delgado has some power out there. She is a very, very strong hitter. She plays first base, has number 20. Again, a power hitter, and just a sophomore. She is just a sophomore. I believe Faith Rodriguez, our starting pitcher tonight, is also a sophomore. Count now 0-2. Uniform colors for the Lady Hounds, similar to my favorite football team, one of them at least, LSU. We see the purple, the gold and white, gold numerals, gold socks, purple uniforms. Of course, Lady Panthers, they're basically purple uniforms with the white numerals, so a lot of purple. It's the color purple tonight. And that is going to be a 1-2 count. Again, Delgado, a dangerous hitter. I did ask their coach before the game, have they hit some home runs this year? She didn't get specific on who, but I wouldn't doubt Delgado might be one of them. She says they have hit home runs, and that is going to be the first out of the game, a strikeout. So give a strikeout that time to our starting pitcher, Garcia. Excuse me, Julie Rodriguez, I'm sorry, Julie Rodriguez. And Delgado strikes out, bringing up Jordan Ramos. She is the catcher. Another player who has some power out there. And she wears number 15. She is a senior. A little discussion at the mound. Of course, that was a huge out. We talk about the fact that when you have a runner at third base and less than 2 outs, there's always the possibility of a grounder to bring in the runner, or also a sacrifice fly. We now have the next batter coming up. And again, it is Jordan Ramos, the cleanup hitter, the catcher. And after that, we'll have the designated player come up. And that will be number 18, Jalen Hurta. And Jalen also is a young lady that has some power. My understanding is the reason she's the designated player right now, she's had some injury problems. So that is the reason that she is not in the starting lineup as far as being on the field. Actually, Lila Lopez will be the flex player tonight for the Lady Hounds. And she, of course, won't bat, but she'll play in the field, and she'll be the left fielder. She wears number 4. So a little update on that. And that is going to be a fly ball towards center. Center fielder running in, one-handed catch, throw toward the plate, and the runner is going to be out, and that is going to be an out, 8-2. So in that inning, no runs, and we have Weslaco coming up. We've played a half inning. It is Weslaco over San Benito, 0-0, I guess is the best way to say it.
Before Christine McCleary was a physical therapist, she was an honor student at Weslaco ISD, played sports, and was a cheerleader. She graduated from Ohio State University, then physical therapy school at Texas State University. Now she is Dr. Christine McCleary at Triumph Therapy and part of the clinical faculty at UTRGV School of Medicine. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For Christine McCleary, WISD was the right choice.
So we are now going into the bottom of the first. And again, Lily Torres will be leading off. She is the one lefty in the lineup. And she is left fielder. She plays second base quite a bit, but tonight left field. Second base will be our next hitter who will come up. And that is Alexis Solis. She's just a 9th grader. Keep in mind, just like the boys team, we have both underclassmen and upperclassmen contributing to these baseball teams. Now, Torres is always fun to watch. She is a slap hitter, so never know what she might do. Might try to bunt. And she's got some speed when she is on the base paths. And again, waiting for the first pitch. Faith Rodriguez, again, throws righty, even though she is a left-handed batter. And that first pitch will be a strike. And talking to her coach before the game, she said Rodriguez throws a lot of different pitches, just a sophomore. One of 4 pitchers they use. And that is going to be fouled. 1-1. Again, we appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Among those on the pitching staff, a batter we saw earlier. That ball is fouled off. And I believe Emily Delgado, again, is also on that pitching staff. And she plays third or first. Again, we saw her in the first inning. She's playing first tonight, as we know. And that is going to be a swinging strike. Misses on an outside pitch, so 1 out. Lily Torres strikes out. And up next, the second baseman, number 4, Alexis Solis, listed as a utility player. But again, playing tonight at second. Talking to Mauro Rodriguez before the game, said that he would be shaking up his lineup a little bit tonight. One of the problems, we talked about it, and right now we see the third baseman and first baseman playing in. One of the problems, he said, as the first pitch is a ball, there were no tournament games this year. Due to the COVID situation, the teams have lost a lot of games. And because of that, you haven't had enough time to see all the players get in and work in different positions. So he wants to see lots of different lineups. And that ball gets by the shortstop, and that is going to be a hit. I don't believe the shortstop touched it, so we're going to call that a hit. And Solis gets to first. Had the shortstop got a glove on that ball, there might have been a dispute whether or not it was an error, but I don't believe she touched it, so we'll call that a clean hit. And the center fielder who made the great throw to throw out the runner to end the inning, make that double play to end the first, top of the first, is up. Kat Reyes. She wears number 20. Again, everybody, I believe, righties in this lineup except for the leadoff hitter, Lily Torres. And that is going to be a ball, ball 1. Glad to see everyone out here tonight. Of course, San Benito just down the road. Not a far drive for their fans either. Right by the big water cooler with the late great singer Freddie Fender. I remember as a little boy growing up in Chicago. Back then when you had Top 40 radio, they played a little bit of everything, even country and all kinds of music. You'd have the Beatles and maybe some country music and some soul music. And I remember hearing Freddie Fender, Wasted Days and Wasted Nights, back like in 1973, listening to WLS in Chicago, 890, music radio. And that is going to be tapped past the shortstop. Again, a clean hit. Shortstop dived for it, couldn't get it. So that will move the runner down to second. And that will be a single for Kat Reyes. And next, Jules Garcia, number 27, the catcher, is next. Jules, of course, tagged out the runner to complete the double play. She's a junior. And by the way, as we mentioned, Solis is a freshman. Lily Torres, a senior. And Kat, she's a junior. A little conference at the mound right now. Their manager out there. And she has an interesting story. Denise Lira, she coached in college for about 13 years. Been here about 4 or 5 years with San Benito, but she was at a number of different places. I think she was first assistant, her last college job at Incarnate Word. And before that, over at Concordia, where is that? I believe in Austin, maybe. She was the head coach. So she is very qualified. A lot of experience, again, over a decade at the collegiate level, both as a head coach and an assistant. We just saw her leave the mound. And, of course, we're talking about Freddie Fender on the water tower over there in San Benito. He had a big hit, Wasted Days, Wasted Nights. And, again, I know WLS back then was music radio, and at night you could even hear it down here. You heard it in about 38 states at night. It was one of those 50,000-watt clear channel radio stations that went all over the country at night. And his song was huge. All right, that's going to be a grounder off the mitt of the pitcher. And I believe they had the play at second and got the runner out, but the ball was overthrown at first. And runner's safe and gets down to second, and a run comes in. And a run scores. So on that error, we see Solis score. And we see Cat Reyes go to third. And Garcia gets to second on the throwing error. So on the throwing error, we now have runners in scoring position. And again, 2 outs. So the runner forced out at second, but then the throwing error. And who got charged with the error? Who had the throwing error? Shortstop. Okay, just want to make sure. Shortstop with the throwing error that allowed the run to score. So it'll be Jules Garcia charged with the error. Now back to action. And we have Stacy Batista coming up. And she is playing right field tonight, listed as a DP and outfielder. She's a junior, and she wears number 10. And that's going to be a strike. 1 run so far for Weslaco here in the first inning. They lead 1-0. Very warm day, at least as far as covering baseball. Warmest day of the year for me. Maybe the warmest day overall in the Valley for 2021. That tapped back to the pitcher, and that is going to score a run. And so we now have a runner at first. Actually, it is now 2-0.
For the Lady Panthers, your third baseman, number 34, Mia Rodriguez.
Are we going to give Batista a hit? All right, we'll give Batista a hit. It was sharply hit, so we'll give Batista a hit. Batista comes in. Yeah, well, I agree. A hard enough shot, as Alex just said. And Reyes comes in. And that is going to be a strike. Again, 2-0 now, the score. And at the plate is number 34, Mia Rodriguez, the third baseman. Count now 0-2. She is just a freshman. Count now 1-2. Count even now at 2-2. Just several games left, I believe, this month for the Lady Panthers in softball, so everyone counts. 3-2 full count. And that ball off the third baseman's glove. Runner will get to first. So, Alex, what are we calling on that? It's a close call.
Up next for the Lady Panthers, their first baseman, number
It was a hot shot, so you want to give it a hit? All right, we'll give it a hit. We'll give Mia Rodriguez a hit. And now we have runners at first and second. And Merlin Chavarria is now up, playing first base, also plays third base, wears number 19, and is a senior. So now we have runners at first and second. 2 outs. And again, Weslaco ahead 2-0. First pitch is a ball. So far, 7 batters have come to the plate for Weslaco here in the first inning. Again, already doubled the amount of runs they scored the other night. So that is a grounder to third, and a long throw to first is good for the out, 5-3. So we have played 1 complete, and it is the Weslaco Lady Panthers over the Lady Hounds of San Benito, and the score is 2-0.
Before Danya Pulido became an attorney, she was a student at Weslaco ISD. She was a member of the National Honor Society and a cheerleader. She earned her degree from St. Mary's University, then graduated from St. Mary's University School of Law. Now she is Danya Pulido, attorney at law for Texas Legal Services Center in Austin. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For Danya Pulido, Weslaco ISD was the right choice.
And now we are getting ready for the top of the second.
number 18, Jalen Huerta.
And here we are in the top of the second. Jalen Huerta, the designated player, is first to bat. Wears number 18. We watched her in batting practice. And she is not playing in the field right now. My understanding is she's had some injury problems, but still able to come and contribute at the plate. And you hear people saying, come on, Julie. Julie Rodriguez pitching tonight, a righty for Weslaco. Most of the time, when I've been here, we've either seen Julie Rodriguez or Kat Reyes as the starting pitcher. And many times, I know we've seen Kat a couple times pitch, and Julie came in later to finish up. Count is 1-1. And that is popped up toward right field, and it is going to go off the wall in right. We talked about the fact that this young lady had some power, and we saw that. Long single off the right field wall. And next, coming to the plate, it is going to be the second baseman. She wears number 2, Bethany, or as they call her, Beth Aguilar. Beth Aguilar at the plate. I believe they have mostly a righty lineup tonight. And that ball is bunted, but it's going to be called foul. They do have some lefties that play. Maybe one in the lineup tonight. Actually, I believe they do have a one lefty playing tonight, batting. Of course, two, I forgot the fact that Faith, she throws right, but she hits left. So two lefties in the lineup tonight for San Benito. Their pitcher when she's batting. And then I believe also a player we're going to see here in a little bit. And that will be bunted once again. And that is going to be an out. Ground out. But that will advance the runner to second.
Up next, number 8.
So a sacrifice. And the next batter, number 8, Caitlin Garza. Garza, the center fielder. And we were talking about the lefties in their lineup. I believe batting in the 9 spot they have a lefty. And that happens to be Elisa Rubio. So if I've got this down right, San Benito has 2 lefties in their lineup tonight playing. And well, I believe I was told they also have another one on the roster. Count is 1-1. I believe the other one is Kylie Sanchez, number 9. And that ball hit to first. Little pop out to the first baseman. So there now are 2 away.
Up next, number 19, Alexa Vasquez.
Alexa Vasquez is now up after the pop out to first. That was caught by Chavarria. Vasquez playing third base. Where's number 19? And we were talking about their head coach. We appreciate her time before the game, Denise Lira. And looking at some of my notes, this is actually her 4th year as the head coach of the Lady Hounds. Runner, of course, at second in scoring position with 2 outs. A long single off the wall that time by Herta to lead off the inning. Not taking a lead. And that now is 1-2. Rodriguez, not overpowering, but has good control. Mixes up her pitches. That fouled back. I was talking to the young ladies, some of them on the bench before the game, saying, you know, it's tough playing this kind of heat, but it's better than last year when I covered the NBA All-Star game. One night, as I was going to some of the events, the temperature outside in downtown Chicago off a breezy Lake Michigan was 0. This is on Valentine's Day, 2020, before COVID hit. It was 0 degrees with a minus 27 wind chill. I'll take 102 degrees any day, as long as I'm got an umbrella or a cap. All right, that is a high fly ball, and that is going to land between the center fielder and the left fielder on what would be the warning track, and that is going to be a double that drives in a run. So Herta comes in,
Up next, number 3, Elisa Rubio.
and Vasquez has a double. And that is going to be the second hit of the inning, second hit of the game. for the guests, the Lady Greyhounds. And the lefty we talked about is up. Rubio, Lisa Rubio. She is the left fielder. Where's number 3? So again, a runner on second, no lead. Don't have to hold her on. First pitch is a strike. Right now, Weslaco, third in the district, 32-6A. Count is even, 1-1. Again, 2-1, Weslaco leads San Benito. So this is the first run they've scored against Weslaco this season. In the first game, Lady Hounds were shut out 7-0. That is pop foul on top of the dugout of Weslaco, which is on the third base side. Obviously, the Lady Hounds over in the first base dugout. And again, 1-2 count. Fouled back. Of course, the actual animal Greyhound's a beautiful dog. I'll talk a little more about that later, but they are beautiful animals, and I know there are efforts at times in certain areas to get them adopted. We'll talk about that. Right now, popped up, and that is going to be an out to the center fielder. So Rubio flies out to center, and that is the end of the top of the second. After an inning and a half, it's Weslaco leading 2-1 over San Benito.
Before David Lozano started practicing law, he was a student at Weslaco ISD. He participated in UIL athletics. He was a regional qualifier. He earned college credits through the dual enrollment program. After high school, he attended the University of Texas before graduating from St. Mary's School of Law. Now he helps people in need as an attorney. WISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For David Lozano, Weslaco ISD was the right choice.
All right, we are now back to action. It is the bottom of the second. The Lady Panthers are leading 2-1. And coming to the plate, obviously, we have Weslaco. And this time, it's going to be the shortstop that is going to be batting. Number 5, Lexi Escamilla. Also plays outfield. And she is just a sophomore. And again, we were told by Mauro Rodriguez he wants to see a lot of players play, going to shake up his lineup a little bit tonight, so got the opportunity to see a number of people tonight. We have seen his lineups different quite a bit this year. Doesn't mind using the younger players too, and not just near the end of the game, and that time pays off for him as she lines a single off the shortstop's glove, and because we gave a hit earlier to a hard shot off the third base glove, we have to obviously be consistent and call that a hit. So Escamilla leads off with a single off the glove of Jules Garcia. And now we're at the bottom of the lineup. Ninth batter coming up, Jordan Diaz. And she is the designated player, also plays outfield. Number 12, she's a senior. And by the way, Julie Rodriguez is our flex player tonight. And we now have ball one. What is Julie playing tonight? She's flex, right? She's playing in the field? Pitching. Okay, just pitching. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Just want to make that straight. I just want to make sure I got that right. So that is going to be a strike, 1-1. So now we have gone through the lineup. Through the lineup for Weslaco, and Torres will be up. We'll be back to the top of the order. Escamilla now at second base. And now we'll go to third. Does she have 2 stolen bases here? Yeah, I thought so. That's her second stolen base since she's got on. What's that? Wild pitch. Okay, I want to make sure what that was. So she got to second on a wild pitch, and then to third on a stolen base. And that would be the first stolen base of the night for Weslaco. Again, Diaz at the plate with no outs, runner at third. And that will be a C&I single. Second baseman dives for it, can't get it. And coming in is Escamilla. And Diaz
Up next for the Lady Panthers, number 7,
will be on base.
Lily Torres.
Lily Torres, who struck out her first at bat, is now at the plate. Playing left field tonight. Only lefty in the lineup for Weslaco. As we mentioned, their pitcher, Faith Rodriguez, is a right-handed pitcher but hits lefty. And talking to their coach before the game, she said, we're talking about Denise Lera, she says they're not afraid to bring in whoever they need. They kind of have a pitching rotation. She said they don't really have an ace or a big-time starter. And they'll do what they have to do. But so far, Faith has gone all the way. First baseman and third baseman cheat up. Good idea since that was a bunting attempt. It was foul, though. 0-1 count to Torres. Torres, we've seen her bunt before. I talked to Mario Rodriguez before the game about, and I saw this earlier this year, where somebody had a batter bunt with 2 strikes. Of course, if you foul back, it's considered a strikeout, and he's not in favor of that, of having a player bunt if they've got 2 strikes on them. And he said I could say that, so had a little discussion about that. I haven't seen him do that this year, though. That ball will be bunted, and it's 0-2. So now we'll have to see if Mario Rodriguez has Lily try to bunt with 2 strikes. Is he going to call me a liar here? So, yeah, he says he doesn't do that. He won't have one of his batters try to bunt if they've got 2 strikes, especially an 0-2. But maybe he knows that what I just said, so he'll try to prove me wrong. Of course, if anybody would have the back control to try and do it and be accurate, it would be Lily. Looked like she wanted to try to get a slap hit that time. 1-2, yeah, as Beto just said, that one was close. 1-2 the count. But did not see any hint of Lily trying to bunt on that last time. Again, with the 2 strikes. Pitcher taking her time. And that'll be a slap hit, and it hits the line. It's going to be fair, it looks like. No? All right. Oh. I'm going to have to say from my angle, and I'm not, the umpires have a tough job, and again, they only have 1 base umpire. It looked like it hit the line, but I could be wrong. I'm up here in the press box. But, so, yeah. So, do the people up here agree with me? Okay, so the 6 eyes up here say it was hit the line, but again, we don't count. So, it's now a 1-2 count. Weslaco leads 3-1. And that is going to be off the glove of the first baseman. Runners will be safe. And that is a tough call. You're going to give that a hit. I got to give that an error. Okay, and Alex agrees with me. I love to give Lily a hit, but I can't be a homer here. I got to call that an error. So I know Mario may argue with me later, and that's fine if he does. And he may have this changed and call it a hit. But right now, I'm going to say that's an error on the first baseman. She should have been able to get it. It was slow enough rolling that she should have been able to try to get a fielder's choice or something on that. So we're going to have runners on first and second, and that is going to be an error. Again, still no outs. And Solis is up. Alexis Solis. She singled her first time up, is going to bunt, and that's going to be foul. So 1 run in already, and runners on first and second. Give that last error to the first baseman, Emily Delgado. I know there might be some dispute later, and I'll talk with Mario about that maybe the runner could have beat out that ball, because I know Lily is fast. And that's going to be 1-1. Sun starting to set. And that bunt right in front of the plate. Nice bunt. Quick throw to first. Down to third. Runner is there easily. So they get the runner at first. 1-3. But now we have 2 runners in scoring position. And Kat Reyes coming up to bat. So excellent bunt by Solis. Great sacrifice, gets the runners in scoring position. Again, remember, only 1 out. Kat Reyes now up. She singled last time up. Will we see her pitch today? Hard to say. Did she start on Tuesday night? Okay, I'm talking to the crew here in the press box. In the loss Tuesday night to Harlingen South to the Lady Hawks, Kat was the starter. 3-1 again. Weslaco leading. They've scored both innings so far. Great chance to add to this lead. Just try to get the ball in play. Long fly ball, grounder. Either way, good chance to score at least 1 run. And we've seen some of the power of Kat. She can hit the ball. And that ball again, in play. I said get it in play, and she does. And that scores a run. So run comes in from third.
Next to the Lady Panthers, number 27, Jules Garcia.
So Kat is out on the grounder. Runner at second stays. But run comes in from third. Been Jordan Diaz. So we have 2 outs, but it's now 4-1. Weslaco leads. So key to get the ball into play on that kind of situation. And that's going to be a single into center field. We'll easily get the run in from second. No way you're going to throw out Lily Torres. So she scores. And a nice single. And by the way, our last batter was Jules Garcia, the catcher, so she gets credited with the single. And now Batista will come up. She is singled in this game. Again, our next batter, number 10, Stacy Batista. And we're going to have a new pitcher. Again, they have 4 pitchers on their roster. And this is going to be Megan Cavazos. right now, we'll see if Weslaco can add to their total. Stacy Batista at the plate. No count on her. Pitching change was made right before she came to the plate. So this will be the first batter for Megan. And runner will steal. Gets to second easily. Stolen base for Garcia. Again, 5-1 the score. Clean off the plate right now. Teams again have met once this year, we mentioned earlier, at San Benito. And Weslaco won, shutting them out 7-0. Count is even, 1-1. Sun has not quite set yet, but temperature's still warm. That ball will be fouled back. I'm sure by the time even we end this game, probably temperatures will still be in the 80s. We mentioned earlier, depending where you look, winds are listed between 11 and 15 miles an hour this evening. I think the other night when Harlingen was playing Weslaco, I think the other night when the ladies were playing here, I think winds were over 20 miles an hour on Tuesday night. And that ball will be over the second baseman's head, and that will bring in another run.
Up next for the Lady Panthers, number 34.
So Emily Luna was a designated runner, and she'll score. Luna also listed as an outfielder and a senior. And Batista gets the single. Mia Rodriguez at the plate. Third baseman. And that is going to be a wild pitch. Runner will get to second. And wasn't the Rodriguez, was she the one that had the game-winning hit against Weslaco East in the 8th inning, that 10-9 game? So already she has shown that she is good under pressure. That was an exciting game, going back and forth, leads. And then finally, Weslaco winning. Probably the most exciting game I've seen softball or baseball this year. 10-9 they won here earlier this season. Non-district game between Weslaco, of course, there, 32-6A, Weslaco East, 32-5A. 1-1 the count. What's that? Yeah, that's I will mention that. That is, all right, this is Mario's daughter, so he was definitely a proud papa that night. He's the head coach, of course, of Weslaco. And she will hit that ball out to left field. Left fielder comes in and catches it, and that will be the third out. So we have played two complete, and it is Weslaco over San Benito, 6-1.
WHS. Let's dream it. Let's shout it. Let's dream it. Let's shout it. WHS.
And now we'll go to the top of the third. And again, we'll be to the top of the lineup. Jalissa Garcia will be at the plate. She's the shortstop. Where's number 5? And got on via an error the first time. (6-1) the score. There's the pitch. Strike one. And I'm going to ask the two gentlemen who are in the press box with me, since Baseball is always an interesting sport, and it's a lot of fun. I'll wait just a second here till we get the next pitch in. And that's fouled out of play. Beto Chavez, our PA announcer, Alex Bravo, our scoreboard operator. Are you gentlemen are you superstitious when it comes to baseball? Okay, Alex is shaking his head, not sure. What about Beto? Okay. He says no? All right. All right, well, I'll tell you what. I am a little bit tonight. I'm not comfortable with the score right now because this was the score after the first inning that the Weslaco boys led by the other night. Okay, they led 6-1 over Harlingen, and they wound up losing 21-8. 21-8, so that score is making me nervous right now. And again, I talk that, and then all of a sudden, San Benito gets a single. Leadoff hitter gets a single, Garcia. Faith Rodriguez, is she still in there? Yeah, she's still batting. We'll find out. We'll try to figure out where she's playing now. Of course, she started out as the pitcher. If you guys figure out where she's on the field, tell me. And she, of course, was the starting pitcher. And gets ready. Fakes a bunt and pulls back. Strike one. Herta, the only batter to wind up getting on base and scoring so far for San Benito. That came in the second inning. After she led off with a single, wound up scoring. Jalen Herta. 1-1's the count. And that ball will be a grounder to first. Gets the runner to second, but a nice play. As we see an out. 1-3. Emily Delgado is next. So, good play. 1-3 on that out. As we saw Rodriguez throw to first. Chavarria playing first tonight. Emily Delgado at the plate. Struck out her first at bat. No lead by the runner at second. Owen won the count. Total of 14 players on the Lady Hounds roster. On a big orange ball right now. Probably sink down under the horizon in the next 10 or 15 minutes. Pitcher taking her time. And that is going to be looped into left field down near the line. And that will score a run. And the runner may be caught between second and first. No, she gets back. Looked like that might be a chance to get her before she could get back to first. But Delgado gets back and drives in Jules Garcia. So 1 out and a run is scored. Looked like Delgado was going to try to stretch that single into a double and might get caught on the base paths, I should say, between first and second. But couldn't get a clean throw down to first to tag her out. So she got a little bit lucky on that play. Not the best of base running that time, but again, got a little break on the throw and got back to first. Throw was a little bit off. First baseman dropped it and runner got back. And that is going to be line foul down third. 0-1. Nice power on that ball. Again, Jordan Ramos. Flied out to center first time out. That was the play that ended the first inning where the ball was thrown in from center to home for a double play. Real nice throw by Reyes. And then, of course, runner was tagged out of the plate, that is. Garcia tagged out the runner for the third out. This time, again, lined down the third base side. Drops just a few feet foul. There was, again, a good pop on that ball. And again, it was Delgado that was thrown out at the plate. Ramos, that is, flied out to center. And then Reyes threw the ball into home, and Delgado was tagged out. Of course, Delgado at first base right now. That ball outside. Kind of interesting. The Astros, of course, had their home opener last night and won. I think they're like 6-1 maybe right now. But what's interesting on this series, they're going to have an off day on Sunday. They're playing their series Thursday, Friday, and Saturday against Oakland, but I've never really heard of an off day on a Sunday for a major league team, but things are different nowadays. And then, of course, they'll open a series with Detroit on Monday. That's a high fly ball, and it's going to fall between the shortstop and the left fielder. Some miscommunication about who was going to get the ball. Drops in, but since nobody touched it, it'll be a hit. So Jordan Ramos gets to first,
Up next, number 18.
and Delgado advances to second. Again, some discussion between Lily Torres and Escamilla about who was going to catch it. Looks like Escamilla, the shortstop. I don't know how often Torres plays left field. Alex, does Torres play left field a lot? It's mostly second base, right? So maybe she's not, maybe the part of that confusion is, and I'll talk to Mario later about it, because of the fact that Lily has not played left field that much. And maybe there was the reason for that miscommunication out there. Because obviously one of the players thought the other was going to catch the ball, and neither got it. It happens, but that is one of the reasons that I give him credit to Coach Rodriguez, Mario Rodriguez. He wants to play different lineups. He wants players to get a feel of different positions and younger players to get in so they're ready when it comes time for playoffs. And that's probably what he would tell me. Well, there was an error out there, but now Lily will learn from that. Make her a little stronger as an outfielder. Again, the count is 1-0. Jalen Hurta, again, is the player that hit the ball last time and hit the wall in right field, but it was so sharply hit she could only get to first. Big swing that time, was trying to hit the fences again on that swing, but a strike. So 1-1's the count. And Hurta, again, has had injury problems. That's keeping her out of the field. But, again, she has a pretty powerful bat. So Coach Lira glad that at least she's in the lineup. Here's the pitch, called strike. 1-2. Runners at first and second. High fly ball. Catcher goes back, but it will be in the stands. A few rows below us. Right now, again, I think I mentioned earlier, the Astros were going to allow 10,000 at a game. Right now, they've upped that to 20,000. So they're allowing the stadium to be half full. And again, they'll play Oakland tonight and Saturday. Had the roof open yesterday. I've actually been there before at the roof open. It's very nice when the weather's pleasant to see a game at the Juice Box, Minute Maid Park, with the roof open. And that's going to be inside. A.J. Hinch is going to be there Monday. The Tigers come to town. Their former manager, who took them to a world championship, but then all the controversy. Well, he's back in baseball, and he'll return to Houston for the first time since being the Astros manager for Monday for a series with the Astros. And that is some high heat, and that is going to be a strike. So we have 2 outs. Hit the strikes out. What's that? All right, Beto tells me it's good for Hinch to be back in the dugout, so I guess an Astros fan. Or he says he's a fan in general, so. Well, AJ's a very talented manager, that's for sure. I don't know about all the shenanigans that went on a few years ago, but. All right, that is off the glove of the pitcher, but she is going to have the presence of mind to pick it up and throw to first for the out, and no more damage. So 1 run here in the top of the 3rd, and we'll go to the bottom of the 3rd with Weslaco leading San Benito 6-2.
State Representative.
So we are going to come to the bottom of the 3rd, see if Weslaco can add to their lead. And batting first, Merlin Chavarria. She's playing first tonight also. We've seen her at 3rd. She is a senior. And I believe she may have walked her last time up. Here's the pitch. Called strike. Beginning her first inning of work now is the pitcher that came in last inning, Megan Cavazos. She wears number 17. She is a right-handed pitcher, just like the starter, Faith Rodriguez, although we mentioned Rodriguez, when she comes to the plate, bats left. Again, Weslaco's boys winning just down the road in Donna over north. And there is a pop-up. Right fielder goes for it, and she has it for the first out. So fly out to right field. Chavera is out.
Up next for the Lady Panthers, number 5, Lexi Escamilla.
Lexi Escamilla is next, playing shortstop tonight. Where's number 5? Singled and scored tonight. See if she can get a rally going. The last out was made by the flex player, caught by Leila Lopez. That pitch high, ball 1. Game scheduled for 7 innings tonight. Of course, they do have mercy rules and things like that, but so far it looks like, at least for now, this is a competitive game. Last time, Weslaco scored 7 runs over 7 innings. They have 6 so far, and we're just in the bottom of the 3rd. Last time they beat San Benito 7-0 on the road. 1-1 the count. That's fouled back. Of course, Astros had a big start to their season. What were they, like 5-1 on that road trip in California? I know they swept the A's 4 straight games. So Astros off to a good start. that fouled off. Dusty Baker in his 70s. They like the older guys down there, right? Their football coach for a while last year, I think, was the oldest football coach ever in the NFL when he replaced Bill O'Brien. At least maybe the oldest coach ever to win a game, maybe, in the NFL. That was high. Romeo Cornell, of course, we're talking about. Former head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Helped get a friend of mine fired as general manager of the Browns, Phil Savage. That's another story. I won't go into that tonight, but because of his lack of ability as a head coach. Romeo's a great assistant, but not a great head coach. Great defensive coordinator. Was part of those Patriots teams in New England, the World Championships. And that is popped out. Catcher gets it. So, pop out. And coming up next is Diaz.
Up next for the Lady Panthers, number 12, Jordan Diaz.
Jordan Ramos with that catch. Now, Romeo Cornell is one of the nicest people around. Great defensive coordinator, but just wasn't a great head coach either in the Texans. Oh, that was a real tough situation, replacing Bill O'Brien. I admit that. But the Browns, they really had some decent talent there. And, you know, again, I'm a little bit prejudiced because I'm good friends with Phil Savage, their former general manager. But, again, you know, Romeo did the best he could, though. And I wish him the best for whatever he does in the future. And that is going to be a single into left field. So, well-placed hit.
We go to the top of the lineup.
Now back to the top of the lineup.
Lily Torres.
Again, Jordan Diaz at bat. She is the designated player. She singles. Her second single of the night. And Lily Torres is up. She got on an error. Her second time up and scored. Also struck out. But now has a runner on first with 2 outs. Bottom of the third. And that is ball 1. By the way, Phil Savage is currently a scout for the New York Jets. And, of course, most people remember him as a man who was a commentator on some of the football shows on ESPN. Also, for a while, the analyst for Alabama football with Eli Gold. And that is a grounder to short, force at second to end the inning. So we have played 3 complete, and it is Weslaco over San Benito, 6-2.
Before Harlan Block raised the flag over Iwo Jima, he was a student at Weslaco ISD. There he played for the Panthers, won a championship, and learned some of the leadership skills he and 7 other students used while serving in the Marines. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prominent graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For war hero Harlan Block, Weslaco ISD was the right choice.
So we go to the top of the 4th inning. And the Lady Hounds are back up to bat. Caitlin Garza comes to the plate, playing center field tonight, wearing number 8. 8's all the way. And still pitching for Weslaco, Julia Rodriguez. And something I've always meant to ask, I know we don't keep it in here, but when I do the boys' baseball games next door at Weslaco, they actually have a designated person in the press box, Peter Solis, who keeps track of the pitches, both for the visitors and the home team. And I did ask Mario Rodriguez, the head coach of the Lady Panthers, do you keep pitch counts on your pitchers? He said no. Now, I don't mean, now, the way I was asking, I think he meant, do you keep pitch counts to know how many pitches they're allowed to throw? Now, they may actually keep a pitch count down there. I'm not saying they don't. But they don't actually use that to determine, well, she's thrown too many pitches, it's time to pull her out. So, yeah, what I'm saying, though, Beto was just talking to me about, and I appreciate his input. What I'm trying to say is that, no, nobody has a pitch count per se. I mean, I guess a high school boy could throw 100 pitches if he wanted to, but at some point, I guess you say enough's enough. All right, that is a pop-up, and that is going to be out at second. Fly out to second. So nice job there to get a quick out. Alexa Vasquez is now up. Oh, I'm sorry. So Megan Cavazos is up now, all right. So Megan's now in the lineup. There has been a replacement. Alexa Vasquez was originally in this spot, but Megan Cavazos, who came into pitch, is now pitching in her place. This will be Cavazos' first time at bat, and she wears number 17, and it's a strike. She's a righty. Last pop out, by the way, caught by Solis. But what I was trying to say is that obviously there is no pitch count limit for boys or girls, but there's a lot of people, and again, this is also big when I was working in minor league baseball at the AA level, that, you know, they don't want the pitchers to go over a certain number. I mean, even in minor league baseball, they can throw as many as they want, but some people say, well, if the pitcher gets to 60, and we see this in the major leagues if you watch major leagues all the time. There's a certain limit of what they want to see people pitch. But apparently, and I'll talk more to Coach Rodriguez about it, he has no real limit. I don't know, I don't know. I'd ask him sometimes, what would the max be? By the way, that was a nice line out to third base. Good effort at third base, positioned perfectly to catch that hot shot. Give a lot of credit to the third baseman that time. And again, we were talking about Coach Rodriguez, so let's talk about his daughter, Mia Rodriguez. We know that she had that big hit we were talking about to win the game. She's a ninth grader, won that game against Weslaco East, now shows her capabilities in the field. Not talking about this just because it's Mario's daughter. I would talk about it no matter who it was. And I originally was not aware it was his daughter in past weeks, and I talked about her a lot, so this has nothing to do with her being the coach's daughter. We talk about all the players. They're all a lot of daddies up here, even maybe one in the press box, maybe. We'll talk about that later. Maybe Alex Bravo just might have a reserve on the team. So, yes. Yeah, what was that, Beto? Oh, yeah. He said it. Romy Nunez, number 22. All joking aside, Alex Bravo's daughter, and she's done a nice job out there when she's come in, is number 22, Romy Nunez, and she is a freshman too. We've seen her catch. I remember seeing her catch a couple innings one time. So that is going to be a slap down to short, or actually to second, I'm saying, and quick out, quick inning. And now that's an out, second to first. And now we've played 3.5. And it is Weslaco leading San Benito 6-2.
Before Clarissa Renteria was a dentist, she was a student at Weslaco ISD. She was a cheerleader, played softball, and started college early through the dual enrollment program. She graduated from UTPA before earning her degree from the University of Texas School of Dentistry in Houston. Now she is Dr. Renteria, creating beautiful smiles at Professional Dental Group. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For Dr. Clarissa Renteria, WISD was the right choice.
But now Tori Sanchez is in the bottom of the fourth. And that's going to be a pop-up. Catcher going back. Can't quite get to it. Very close to the fence. And that would have been a very hard chance to make an out. Nice crowd again gathered as there normally is. Last game for San Benito was against Los Fresnos, who's won 6 straight going into tonight. And they had an 8-0 victory on Tuesday night over San Benito. And by the way, the Lady Falcons are 12-1 overall and ranked 11th in the Texas Girls Coaches Association softball poll for 6A. So Los Fresnos moving up. They beat Weslaco here earlier, and later on Weslaco later this month will have to go to Los Fresnos. 1-1 is the count. That ball inside. And again, Tori Sanchez, another one of those young players, a sophomore. So Harlingen South is beat. Well, that's a big key matchup right now. Harlingen South and Los Fresnos are playing right now. And Harlingen South, I've been told, I want to thank the gentleman in the press box for updating me. 6-2, Harlingen South, who won here 8-0 on Tuesday night, is leading Los Fresnos. And that is a foul ball. And it's ironic because, and I'll try to look at this more when we get to the break, Harlingen South, they're 13-1-1 overall. And they actually dropped to 19th in the rankings this past week. They were 15th, but because they had a close game against Harlingen and they only won 14-12, they dropped in the rankings. That seems a little bit crazy, but that's rankings. That's people voting. So actually just by having a close game with Harlingen, they dropped 4 places. Weslaco, of course, has split this season with Harlingen. Yeah, it's big, as Beto's saying. You know, again, they've been very competitive, and that is going to be a swinging strike. Sanchez strikes out. So we'll see who the next batter is. We may see several substitutes.
Number 20, Katia Reyes.
But Katia Reyes will be up. And Katia has singled in this game. Don't know if she'll pitch, but yeah, Weslaco is, of course, always competitive. They have split the season series with Harlingen, winning 1 game, losing 1, 1-1 with the Hawks. Of course, they beat them 8-0. Lost them 8-0 or 8-1 here, but beat them 5-3. What were the Harlingen scores? You gentlemen remember? If you find out later, tell me. When they played Harlingen, we're talking about Weslaco when they played Harlingen. The first one was 4-1. Who won that one? That was here. Harlingen won here 4-1. We do know that. And then Weslaco went and they beat Harlingen at Harlingen. Was it 13-3? So something like 13-3. So Weslaco they lost to Harlingen here 4-1, but won by about a score of 13-3 at Harlingen. And Beto was just telling me, our PA announcer, that sometimes he thinks that Weslaco plays better on the road. And right now, the count is, I believe it's 2-0. I believe we'll see. Let's just wait and see. One thing good about the umpires, they've been pretty good in this league about updating us if we were behind on the score as far as balls and strikes. They're good at signaling. And that's 3-0. You know, we'll see. If it's another ball and okay, yeah, you said 3-0. That's correct. See, Alex, I wouldn't lead you wrong, at least not that time. Maybe next time, but not on purpose. Not on purpose. And that's going to be a walk.
For the Lady Panthers, number 27, Jules Garcia.
The catcher, Jules Garcia, is next. And I believe she's single and also, I believe, reached base on an error. And do we have a pinch runner? So could Reyes be coming in as a pitcher? She just went off the base, and that usually would imply to me that she is going to pitch next inning and come in and take over on the mound for Julie Rodriguez. We'll have to wait and see. Do you know who the pinch runner is? If you guys see, who's that? Madison Lopez. Okay, so Madison Lopez, a junior utility player, number 25, has come in to pitch run for Kat Reyes. And, you know, I don't have a crystal ball. I do work for ESPN, but I don't have ESP. But I would have to say that maybe next inning, Kat Reyes is going to be on the mound. And I think I have 2 other fellows in here that may agree with me. So we'll see. I never go 100%. Beto said 100%. I'll go 99.9, all right, with you. Oh, she's warming up back. So you can see that better than I can. So if she's warming up, all right, I'll give you 99.9.5. So that Kat Reyes will be in there. Yeah. Well, it'd be good to see Kat. Of course, taking away nothing from Julie Rodriguez tonight. She's had a very good performance. At bat is Jules Garcia. Again, Weslaco up 6-2. And that's going to be pop-up pitcher coming in, calls everyone else off, and barely gets it. It looked like the top of an ice cream cone in her glove. She barely held on to that one. You could see most of the yellow of the softball out of her glove, but she held on. That's all that matters for a pop-out to the pitcher. So Garcia pops out to the pitcher. And nice job holding on. And you notice in most games the pitcher never tries to field a fly ball. Always tries to get someone else to field it, but there was no one else near there. Cavazos had no choice but to try to get it herself, and almost disaster, but again, she held on. A runner still at first. And that is going to be grounded foul. Stacy Batista up right now. And Batista, I believe, is singled twice. Total of 8 hits so far for Weslaco. Boys have already won tonight against Donna North. See if the girls can do the same. 1-1. And I don't remember whether I was watching a girls or boys game over here, but boy, that one night there was a lot of hit batters. I think 5 or 6 in the game, and nothing intentional, but we're not seeing much of that tonight. A lot better control. What's that? And again, Beto has just told me that 2 of the girls for Weslaco got hit in the Harlingen South game. And of course, you hear the gentleman I'm talking to, they're off microphone, but we do talk to them because they have a lot of insight to give me. They cover all the games here. Beto Chavez, our PA announcer, and our scoreboard operator, Alex Bravo. Alex was very helpful to me during basketball. He would shout the scores up to me at halftime. The lady that was doing the scorebook didn't want to do it, but she was good about giving him to him. Now, she was great helping us out. What was her name again? Was it Melinda? Amanda, that's right, Amanda. So Amanda would give him the scores at halftime, and then he would yell them up to me. And Alex really had to use his voice sometimes because they would sometimes have loud music on at halftime. So, what's that? Yeah, well, the PA announcer didn't want the PA now. Oh, was that you? Yeah, it was you. Now I think about it. So Beto didn't want me to get the scores. Beto, next year you need to lower it a little bit. No, I'm just teasing with you. I don't have the best ears, but I can hear. No, let the fans have a good time hearing the music. I'm just having fun with Beto. But no, Alex was a big help. And, of course, Beto, we did always enjoy your music, all joking aside, at the basketball games just like here. So grounder to short, and that is going to be a force at second. Was that the second baseman? Okay, so that's a force at second. And that is going to be the end of 4 innings. And it is 6-2, Weslaco over San Benito.
Before Rene Hinojosa became a business executive, he was a student at Weslaco ISD. He participated in UIL academics, designed the original Wildcats logo, was an all-state academic middle linebacker. He then played for the Longhorns, graduating with a business degree from UT. Now he's the Director of Strategic Development at Doctors Hospital at Renaissance. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For Rene Hinojosa, WISD was the right choice.
So we are going into the 5th inning, and San Benito coming back to the plate. Top of the lineup once again, Jules Garcia, and she has reached on an error and singled, and that is going to be high. A lot of good baseball in this area we've been talking about. And, of course, we've been talking about the Los Fresnos Hawks game. And there is a pitch. Has there been some change in fielders, guys? No. Are we still the same? Lily's in second now. So Mia Rodriguez went to center field, and Lily's at second. And Lily Torres is at second, and Tori went to third. Okay, so Tori Sanchez is at third. So thank you, gentlemen, for some of the changes in the fielding lineup. And what was that? What was the who was winning Los Fresnos and Harlingen South again? South was winning? Okay. I don't need the score right now. I just need to know who was winning. But again, a Hawks win, if they continue to win, would give them sole possession of first place and a split on the season. And it's 7-2 Hawks winning, so that obviously is a big game for both the Lady Hawks and the Lady Falcons. And down the road, I was reading in the monitor, Mercedes having quite a year. 10-0 district, 32-5A. Believe it or not, they have scored, and that is going to be a walk to start off the inning. So Faith Rodriguez, who started out pitching this game, is up. She reached on an error and also grounded out. But Mercedes, they have scored 114 runs in 10 games over their winning streak. They have a 10-game winning streak. That's a bunch of runs. So they're averaging double digits runs over their winning streak. And they've allowed opponents 2 or less during that stretch. They're 12-2 overall and ranked 17th overall. That is in 5A, in the Class 5A polls. Again, that's the TGCA polls. So congratulations to Mercedes. Am I right or am I wrong that Weslaco has beat Mercedes twice this year? I know they beat him 8-0 here, right? 8-0 here, and they beat him over in Mercedes too, right? Okay, like 5-1. So if that is correct, and I'm looking at this, and this is correct what I read in the paper. Let me get back to this in just a second. The only 2 losses Mercedes has this year would be to Weslaco, if this is correct what I read. Mercedes is 12-2, and their only losses would have been non-district to Weslaco, if what I saw was correct in the paper on Thursday. So, but they do have a 10-game winning streak. The Lady Tigers have been tough in their district, that's for sure. 1-0 is the count right now. And that is going to be a slow roller toward third. Throw is off the mark, and a run will come in. Runner will get to second. So, slow roller by Rodriguez. And Garcia will get in. Error on Tori Sanchez on the throw. And Faith Rodriguez will be at second. And now the score is 6-3. First run for San Benito since the 3rd inning. They scored 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, and now 1 here in the 5th. All of Weslaco's runs came early. 2 in the 1st and 4 in the 2nd. And now we are going to have that pitching change we thought might happen. Cat Reyes is in.
Before Christine McCleary was a physical therapist, she was an honor student at Weslaco ISD, played sports, and was a cheerleader. She graduated from Ohio State University, then physical therapy school at Texas State University. Now she is Dr. Christine McCleary at Triumph Therapy and part of the clinical faculty at UTRGV School of Medicine. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For Christine McCleary, WISD was the right choice.
Emily Delgado, who can hit a home run. She's got some power, I believe, is at the plate. Emily has singled in this game. And what Beto was talking about was earlier, the score on the scoreboard. We're talking about baseball can be a superstitious game. And at one time on the scoreboard, the Lady Panthers were leading 6-1. Well, that's the score on Tuesday. The Weslaco boys led Harlingen by after the 1st inning. And then, of course, we know in the middle innings, the Cardinals just exploded and won that game 21-8. So let's hope that 6-1 is not a bad omen for schools called the Panthers. 6-3 the score right now. 0-1 the count as Reyes' first pitch is a strike, but next one is high. Again, we do have a runner on second. Do we have a pitch runner on or not? I'm not sure. Okay, no, we don't have a pinch runner on. All right, it is Faith Rodriguez. And that is a nice ball that hits the corner. Would that be a curve right there, you think? Yeah, it looked like a curve to me, so curve. We know that she can do that. That's part of her repertoire. She throws a nice curve, wicked curve. How you that sound? And the count is now 1-2. And that ball is high. 2-2 the count. Obviously, darkness has set in. Thank goodness we have a good lighting system here. But the key here is no outs yet. And now we have a full count. Should this runner get on, I hate to say it, but you'll have the tying run at the plate. That's one thing about this district, especially when you're playing a team a second time. It's been competitive. That'll be fouled off. You got two great coaches tonight. Maya Rodriguez has been here forever. And you got Coach Lira, who's coached 13 years at the college level, including being a college head coach at Concordia. And been here at San Benito for 4 years. So a lot of experience by the head coaches tonight. And that's going to be a called strike. Yes, it is. One out. I find that strange that they're, and I'll explain this in just a second. I'll let Beto do his lineup here. All right, so that is a strike. So that is going to be a strikeout. Jordan Ramos coming up. Emily Delgado strikes out. One out, runner still at second. And I find it interesting that the runners for San Benito, even when they strike out, run, and it confuses me a little bit because I'm wondering, and even Beto agrees with me, the PA announcer. It looks like, did someone get hit by the pitch? They run, and that's why a lot of times I pause, and I know maybe I don't sound that enthusiastic when Weslaco gets a strikeout. It's not because I'm not. I do like Weslaco, but I'm concerned because the runner's running down toward first. And I've never seen that. Do you guys ever see that with any other teams? No, they're agreeing with me. And again, I wish I could talk to Coach Lira after the game why that's done. Is that something she picked up at college or something? The strike is called. The umpire is very clear at giving it, yet the runner heads right to first. And, maybe they're worried about it, And I guess she wants to do that just in case. I'm going to say why I think it happened. I think Beto kind of hinted to it right there. And any chance at all, if the catcher drops the ball, she just wants to make sure. But you just don't normally see that. I don't know. Some people might say it's showboating a little bit. I know she doesn't mean that, but I'm saying that's maybe why it's not done more often. Done more often. And, well, we won't give the combined weight of the three men in the press box. Beto said he wouldn't be running. I don't think any of us would be running. As a matter of fact, we probably need CPR down there, and if we did try to run to first base, any one of us three. So, but Beto says you can roll me to first. 1-2 the count. We'd have to put you on top of that Panther, the rolling Panther. Remember at football games? Have to bring the rolling. They should bring the rolling Panther out here one night. All right? How's that sound, guys? I'm going to ask Coach Rodriguez about that. Oh, that was cute. Someone said we need all-terrain tires on that. All right, that is going to be a strikeout, right? Yes. So that's 2 strikeouts in a row for Cat. Jordan Ramos strikes out. Jalen Huerta is up, and Huerta again had that long single that went off the wall early in the game in the second, and then wound up scoring. But what do Beto say that we need all-terrain tires if they brought the rolling Panther out here? Now that's something from way back they just brought back, right? That's an old tradition for Weslaco. And they roll that Panther, and that was done years ago, right? And just brought back recently. No, it's always been there. Okay, I just want to make sure. And, yeah, the rodeo club is in charge of that, and I enjoy that at football games. The rolling Panther, they roll that when the team scores a touchdown. Did they have that out this year, though, because of the COVID? I'm not sure I saw it, but I could be wrong. But all right. Okay. Oh, yeah, then they did that late in the season, right? They start running with the flags after a touchdown. And that was new, that running with the flags after a touchdown. I've seen that in a lot of college stadiums I've been at. So it's a 1-1 count. And again, runner still at second. Faith Rodriguez at second. Do you remember how Faith got on? Was that a hit or do you remember? A bunt. It was a bunt. What was it? Yeah, it was an error. It was an error. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it was an error. That's right. Just want to make sure I had that right, because sometimes I was trying to remember it was a single. You know, but no, it was an error because the throw was errant. I was just trying to remember if it was the run, if she outran the throw, or it was a bad throw. But it was a bad throw. That is grabbed by the shortstop. Outstanding catch, and that is going to end the inning. So we played 4.5, and right now it is Weslaco leading 6-3 in that inning.
Before Danya Pulido became an attorney, she was a student at Weslaco ISD. She was a member of the National Honor Society and a cheerleader. She earned her degree from St. Mary's University, then graduated from St. Mary's University School of Law. Now she is Danya Pulido, attorney at law for Texas Legal Services Center in Austin. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For Danya Pulido, Weslaco ISD was the right choice.
All right, we are beginning the bottom of the 5th, and Weslaco is ahead 6-3. And again, Weslaco trying to get some insurance runs. Mia Rodriguez at bat, seeing if she can get things going. She's been on base tonight. And that is a nice fly ball, but foul, back toward the bullpen. So she got a nice pop on that one. But again, on the break, we were talking about a heck of a player for Harlingen for the Cardinals, who plays shortstop. Thomas Lissy, I believe it is, L-Y-S-S-Y, and he is already committed to Houston for the Cougars as a junior. And we got to see him play the other night when Harlingen defeated Weslaco. So that's a name to remember. Again, we're all baseball fans, and we all like to see future prospects and what they're going to do, future D1 players. All right, and that is going to be now a 1-2 count. Go ahead, Beto. He's talking about Harlingen's catcher. Okay, so the catcher you're talking about for Harlingen, Jeremy Cavazos. Okay, so Jeremy Cavazos, who played catcher yesterday or Tuesday, I keep saying yesterday, Tuesday for Harlingen, always seems like yesterday. His dad was an alumni of Weslaco. That's a fly ball, and it's caught. Boy, the third baseman got off balance, but managed to make the catch. So nice job that time by the third baseman on a tough catch. And who is their third baseman now? Do we know? What's that? All right, because we had a change. I want to make sure I give credit. And what is their number again, their catcher? the third baseman? 20? Okay, thank you. Yeah, Emily Delgado. Okay, she's at third. She made that catch. So Weslaco trying to get something going, one out. Haven't scored in the last 2 innings. See if they can get some insurance runs. Two 2-0 the count. Marilyn Chavarria at bat right now. Mia Rodriguez, of course, popped out to third. Inside. Megan Cavazos is pitching. We have an update on a score. Who won? So Harlingen South defeats Los Fresnos tonight in girls softball. Big game, 7-3. Once again, Harlingen South, who won here 8-1 on Tuesday, now beats Los Fresnos tonight 7-3. Thanks for the update. 3-1 the count. And that ball popped up toward right field. Right fielder has it in range and gets it. So Chavarria flies out to right. Alyssa Rubio catches it. Lexi Escamilla is up next. She has singled and scored tonight. 8 hits so far for Weslaco. Big game, of course, for Weslaco. Popped up. Shortstop going back and can't get to it. Falls between the shortstop and a couple other outfielders. Runner will actually get to second. So I call that a double on that one. I believe nobody touched it. So we're going to call that a double. All right.
Up next for the Lady Panthers, number 12, Jordan Diaz.
Jordan Diaz now coming up to the plate. See if we can get some insurance runs. Diaz has singled twice. Escamilla there with her second hit of the night. Diaz scored on her first single. 9 hits now for Weslaco. 5 for the visitors. Each team with a couple errors. That high fly ball to center. It's back, it's out of here. Deepest part of center field, and that is going to be a home run. That is a clean as home run as you're ever going to see. Down to deep center. Wow! That was huge. Needed some insurance runs. Got him right there. That was a wallop. I'm telling you that much. A pretty ball to watch head out. If you like baseball, that was great. No play on that one at all. Excellent job. Wow. Lily Torres comes to bat after a 2-run home run. A little highlight home run. Something that was great to see by Jordan Diaz. Again, 2 runs. And those are the first runs that Weslaco has scored since the second inning. So 10 hits also now for the Panthers. And is that her first home run of the season that you guys have seen? Diaz's second home run? She had one at Harlingen. All right, so she's got 2 now. And that is a bunt. It's going to be foul. Again, Lily Torres at the plate, top of the lineup. Nothing to be surprised by that. Is that one of the longest home runs you guys have seen this year? I mean that was off right deep center field. Okay, it was over the T. Would you say where it says Lady Panthers out there, Alex? That's where it went? Over the E? Okay. All right, over the E. Over the E where it says Lady Panthers in the outfield. And that's as deep as you can go. Yeah, no, I know that. Yeah, he says he doesn't have a clear view. But that was a shot. And it was so cool because it was in the night air, so you could really, with the yellow baseball, you could really just watch it. I've been at, like, Minute Maid Park many times, and I can't even see the home runs with all the fans and everything. They hit them, and I don't even know where it went. I just know it was a homer. But that one, I was able to follow, and that was great. That was a lot of fun to see. That's outside. Lily's been on base once tonight and scored. Got on base on an error. double the hits. Weslaco over San Benito, 10-5. Slaps at that ball, fouls it into the stands. Keep in mind, we play 7 innings in girls softball here in Texas. So Weslaco needs 6 more outs to come away with the victory. Oh, yeah, there he is. I'm sorry, I've been talking here. Great to see this gentleman. A very big help to me when I'm doing baseball over next door at Weslaco. We have Orlando Martinez Jr. in here tonight. Good to see you, my friend. What, the boys, we did announce that, but thank you for telling us. The boys won 6-3. Yeah. No, these guys, Orlando helps me during the boys' games. These guys are very helpful to me over here. So, and that is going to be a strikeout, I believe, yes. So that is the end of the inning. But 2 runs for Weslaco. And right now we have played 5 complete. Weslaco leading San Benito 8-3.
Before David Lozano started practicing law, he was a student at Weslaco ISD. He participated in UIL athletics. He was a regional qualifier. He earned college credits through the dual enrollment program. After high school, he attended the University of Texas before graduating from St. Mary's School of Law. Now he helps people in need as an attorney. WISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For David Lozano, Weslaco ISD was the right choice.
Coming to bat is going to be number 2, and that is Beth Aguilar. And she has grounded out a couple times. She is the second baseman. And a big inning. Saw a couple strikeouts last inning after our new pitcher came in. Kat Reyes. See if she can keep it up. We have seen Reyes over various games get quite a few strikeouts. Definitely has that ability, has some speed on her pitch. Knows how to hit corners. You saw right there, has a curve among her repertoire. And it's 0-1. So, actually it's 0-2. That's right, we had another pitch. So, Reyes is going to throw it outside. That was a wasted pitch. Our catcher said throw it outside, see if the hitter goes for something bad. And that's a smart call sometimes. Waste a pitch to see if you can get the hitter to swing at a bad one outside the strike zone. And that is going to be a ground ball. Short to first. Nice play. That was a solid throw to first from the shortstop position. You can't argue that. And of course that was Lexi Escamilla throwing it to first. One out, 5 to go for the victory. Caitlin Garza now at the plate. Garza has been successfully retired twice tonight. First time, though, she faces Kat. And that's going to be a ball. We mentioned this the other night at the boys' game, fouled back. But we know the girls' track team is doing real good. And they're going on, I guess, to area next? Is that what's next? They did real good in regions, won it. And we saw, I believe it was on Channel 4 the other night, Amity Ibar being interviewed. And she is doing great. I think she's undefeated this season in the 400, 800, and in that relay she runs, the 4x400. I don't think they've lost one yet this year. And she was interviewed the other night after the district meet and did a nice job. So congratulations to her. She is trying to qualify the third time for UIL's track and field championships. Of course, missed last year because of COVID. She's been, I think, in the state meet before at least a couple times in cross country. Very good distance runner. And just really, really does a nice job. And she already is a signee for the Texas Longhorns. Right now, count 2-2. Outside, full count. Be interesting to see what Kat does on this pitch. Always fun when your team is winning. Again, Caitlin Garza at the plate, and she will walk. So Garza gets to first. Megan Cavazos, who came in to pitch, coming up to bat for the second time. Got a runner on first, one out. Called strike. Remember, big play last inning. Everybody that's Lady Panther fans in the house enjoyed it. Jordan Diaz, a senior outfielder, smacks a home run, a two-run homer to the deepest part of center field. Over the tee on Lady Panthers softball. That is on the wall in the outfield, in the middle of the outfield. It stretches from right center all the way to left center. And it was a pretty shot. Nothing cheap about that hit. 0-2 the count. So Kat, after losing the last batter on balls, trying to redeem herself this time. And that is going to be popped up. It's going to be some trouble and does fall in front of the left fielder. Left fielder possibly could have dived for it, but then what happens? The ball gets behind you and maybe you got a runner scoring from second. The runner from first may come all the way around. Instead, now you just have runners on first and second. So I think it was a safe play, letting the ball fall in front of her in left field. So we'll see if a rally can be mounted by San Benito. Cavazos again with that hit. Catcher has to run after that ball, but not away far enough for the runners to advance. Ball outside. Alyssa Rubio is at the bat right now. She's a lefty. Her and Faith are the lefties in the lineup. Faith Rodriguez. Again, runners at first and second. One out. 5-run lead for Weslaco. We're in the 6th. That'll be tapped to the pitcher. She has it, takes the safe play to first, and gets the runner. There was really no other play at any other base. It was hard hit, and the pitcher had a little problem fielding it at first, knocked it down, but then Kat picks it up and threw to first for the sure out, and even then had to do it quickly, but did get the runner, and that's the main thing if you're a Weslaco fan, although there are now runners in scoring position for San Benito. Top of the lineup, Julissa Garcia at bat as Rubio advances the runners but is out 1-3. That is going to be fouled. Garcia, I believe, has reached base each time tonight on an error, a hit, and a walk, and has scored twice. Now, she's a scrappy player, and that's just not me making an opinion. I talked to Coach Lerma before the game, and she said, use the word aggressive to describe her. Just an aggressive player. Aggressive at the plate, aggressive at the field. You saw how aggressive she was taking that swing, even though she missed. Yep, and it was an off-speed pitch, as Beto tells me. So now we see it's an 0-2 count. Will Catrea come in with a fastball? Let's see. No, they're going to go outside. Catcher says, let's try to see her go for a bad one. Those runners still in scoring position, but keep in mind, there are 2 outs. So unless we get a wild pitch or something like that, you're going to need a hit to get them to score. Here's the pitch, fouled back, right over the umpire's head. 1-2 the count. One and two the count. Now let's see what happens with this pitch. And it's a swing and a miss. And that is going to be the end of the inning. So we've played 5.5. No score in that half inning. It is 8-3, Weslaco leading San Benito.
WHS. Let's dream it. Let's shout it. Let's dream it. Let's shout it.
And we now have number 4 coming to the plate, right? Alexis Solis is at the plate. Alexis Solis. Yeah, she came back in. That's why I was kind of thinking for a moment. She left, but she's back. We're back. And we'll see what she does this time. See if she can get a rally. Maybe she'll bunt. Infielders playing in. They're sensing something. Nobody's on base, but they're still playing in, the third baseman and the first baseman. So we'll see if Solis can get something going. And Orlando, is she any relation to Peter Solis, who we work with over next door? Okay, not. He, of course, handles the pitch count at the Panthers boys games. 1-1 the count. One and two. Still pitching Megan Cavazos. She relieved Faith Rodriguez, though Rodriguez is still in the game. Cavazos, a righty, also plays outfield. Where's number 17? We mentioned a couple times already tonight the Weslaco boys have won, so let's make this a double dip. Wind's blowing. Maybe that aided the home run somewhat, but that really was clobbered earlier tonight. And that is going to be a strikeout. So Solis strikes out to begin the 6th. And coming up next is Katia. We call her Kat Reyes, who's now our pitcher. She started out in the outfield tonight. But now pitching. Was our center fielder originally. But we're estimating the wind's about 13, 15 miles an hour tonight. But that pitch may have been wind aided. That was the home run. But Diaz really clobbered that one for the 2-run homer earlier in the game. 1-0 the count. I know in track meets sometimes they talk about world records, whether they were wind aided. But if there was no wind, that would have been a home run. So no asterisk next to that homer. And that is going to be down to third. Glove by the third baseman. Quick throw. And that's going to be an out. That was a great play at third to get the ball down there. I mean, she had to make a perfect throw on that hot shot. And that definitely happened that time. So give credit to Emily Delgado on that throw to get Kat out, because Kat's a fast runner. But she got Reyes out, and now there's 2 outs. And we'll have to see if this is going to be the last batter of the game for Weslaco. Weslaco done a good night offensively tonight. 8 runs and 10 hits. Called strike. Jules Garcia. And of course, this warm weather has to be extremely tough on the catchers. Obviously, they have a lot of fluids in the dugout. I know they even have a water fountain in there and everything, and I'm sure they have whatever kind of sports drinks they need, but still got to be tough catching a full game, because most of these games probably have close to 100 pitches, even if there's 7 innings. 1-1 the count. Garcia been on base a couple times tonight. That is hard hit down right field, and that is going to be a hit, going to bounce against the wall near the 210 marker in the corner, and that's going to be a double. Nice clean hit, and I'm sure we'll have a designated runner.
Up next for the Lady Panthers, number 10, Stacy Bautista.
Stacy Batista is next, and as we mentioned, Emily Luna will come in for the catcher as the designated runner at second base. She's a senior outfielder. We've seen her before. As a matter of fact, she has scored a run in this game. So 11th hit for the Panthers. And there's 2 outs.
Shout out going out to Orlando Martinez out there in right field.
Again. Were you giving a shout out to his dad? Yeah, no, that's okay. That's a good thing. Orlando Martinez Sr. takes care of the grounds here as well as with the boys' stadium, and just gave a shout out, our PA announcer did, to him, and he deserves one. He's probably the hardest working guy here. I know. You know, to have these fields look decent with the lack of rain a lot of times and the hot temperatures, Orlando Martinez Sr. is probably the MVP of the teams, both of them. And that is hard hit, and that is going to be gone over the L in right field where it says Lady Panthers softball. So that is going to be another 2-run homer, second 2-run homer of the game. That was pretty to watch. And that was another solid hit. And they've got a hammer. I'll have to learn a little more about that tradition. But when the runner comes in, they take the hammer and they bang the home plate. So that was pretty cool. And here's a question I'll have for our crew. If people hit home runs, do people return them? They keep them. You know, if you get a home run, you can keep it? Oh, what's that? The girls keep it. Okay, that's good. So if a young lady hits a home run, she gets to keep the softball. That's really good. I like that tradition. Now, what do they call that hammer? It looks like Thor's hammer. I know I used to read. They call the Thor. I used to read Thor comic books. I wish I still had them. They'd be worth a lot of money. And I'm talking about comic books from the 1960s, guys. I was a big yeah, the guys even here go, ooh. That caught their attention. All right. When I talk about money, these guys wake up real quick. All right. And, no, but seriously, I saw that and I said, that's got to be Thor's hammer. So is that something that's been going on for years here? When they get a home run, they bring the hammer? Just this year. So if they hit a home run, they bring it. I'll talk coach later. I don't want to get into too much tonight, but I'll talk with them more about it. But anytime one of the young ladies hits a home run, they bring that big hammer out, and she gets to bang home plate, right? Okay. Yeah, yeah. I knew that someone would come up with a smart answer, a smart remark, and I knew it would probably be Beto. He goes, "What happens if home plate's destroyed when they hit it with the hammer?" Well, okay, whatever. I'm sure they have a backup home plate, but that was. I got to admit though, that was a good line. I give you credit, Beto. I give you credit. I give you credit. Yeah, you're an inquiring mind that just wants to know, right? You're like the National Enquirer of the press box. So, all right. So, see, we have the good lines tonight, Orlando Martinez Jr., when they're winning. Didn't have all these, like, cute lines the other night, did I, when Harlingen was winning 21-8. The mood was a little different, right? I didn't have all the clever one-liners the other night. Guys, it was a lot more somber in there by the 7th inning. Even Orlando said to me, "You're a little more laid back tonight, aren't you, Scott?" Yeah, and he was right. It was hard to have much fun at the end of that game. Though, I respect Harlingen all the way. Congratulations to them. They were the better team, and they showed why Harlingen has a top sports program. All right. So now we still have 2 outs. And we'll have to see if we continue this rally. 7-run lead now, 10-3 is the lead. We've seen Thor's hammer twice tonight. And just for you, Beto, I will go ask Coach Rodriguez next week or whenever I have another game here if he has a backup home plate in case Thor's hammer destroys home plate. Beto Chavez, remember, he's responsible for that question. I want everybody to know that wasn't Scott Harrison, nor Alex Bravo, nor Orlando Martinez Jr. All right, good news, though, for Weslaco, a walk, and they get to do a little more batting. So, Mia Rodriguez walks.
Up next for the Lady Panthers, number 19,
Merlin Chavarria now is up. Trying to add to the lead. A fun night for Weslaco. If you're a Panthers fan, boys baseball team has won already. That's fouled back. And I'm going to ask Orlando Martinez Jr. a question I asked earlier tonight. Don't answer the other guys. Are you superstitious when it comes to baseball? I don't mean everyday life. In baseball. Yeah, okay, he says when it comes to game time, yes. And the reason I bring this up, Orlando, you were there the other night when we saw Weslaco lose 21-8. I got real nervous when the girls went ahead 6-1. Remember the other night, the boys went ahead 6-1 and then lost, so that made me a little nervous when the score was 6-1 because it was like that at the end of an inning. But now they've taken, hopefully, control if you're a Weslaco fan. So it's a 1-1 count. Remember, first time these teams met, Weslaco did win by 7 runs, 7-0. This time they're leading by 7 again, 10-3. The last game was at San Benito. That popped up in the stands. That's actually probably going near my cameraman, isn't it? And I'm going to tell you what, we don't need, Beto, our lens broken on Vinny's camera because that's going to be a lot more expensive than home plate. I promise you, Vinny Barry is not going to let Thor's hammer get anywhere near the K-West camera. What's that? You have Vinny's glasses? Oh, all right. I'm not even going to go there right now. Things are getting a little bit out of hand in here. So, but anyhow. All right. 1-2 is the count. And that is going to be a strike, and that ends the inning. But we had the 2-run homer, and now we go to the bottom of the 7th. Actually, the top of the 7th, I should say. And Weslaco is leading 10-3 over San Benito. So we go to the top of the 7th. If Weslaco can get out of this inning without the Lady Dogs here, the Lady Hounds, tying this game, they will come away with the victory. And Faith Rodriguez, who was the first of 3 pitchers tonight, is starting the inning. All right. And she pitches right but bats left. We've known of some players to do that. Not sure if she's a switch hitter, but she does bat left. So, again, 10-3 is the score. Two and 0 is the count. And that is going to be a foul ball. Shows a lot of character tonight. And give Maya Rodriguez and his coaching staff a pat on the back for this. You know, it's kind of a downer when you play a team you beat already this year, a top district opponent. On the road, you beat them. We're talking about Harlingen South. You beat them on the road, but then 5-3, you lose to them here 8-1. You know, big district game. But then you're able to bounce back against an up-and-coming team. Even though you beat them 7-0, you've seen how other teams have come back the second time you played them in the year. And just do a good job so far. And that is going to be a strikeout. So we begin the top of the 7th with a strikeout.
Number 20, Emily Delgado.
Emily Delgado now comes up after Faith Rodriguez strikes out. She got on base a couple times tonight with an error. We're talking about Rodriguez. And I believe Delgado has singled. And I know she struck out at least once. I think she struck out the first time she faced Cat. But again, 2 outs away for a victory for Weslaco.
Batting for the Lady Hounds. Number 9, Kylie Sanchez.
All right, now a change, so there's been a change. Number 9, all right, so Kylie Sanchez has come in. And we talked about her being one of the lefties on the team. We said there were like 3 lefties on the team. And she's the 3rd one, so we've seen all 3 lefties. Faith Rodriguez is a lefty. And also, let me look down the lineup here. Alyssa Revillo is a lefty. And now the 3rd lefty gets her first chance to play tonight. A 1-1 the count. Only one lefty for Weslaco, Lily Torres. No lefty pitchers, I don't believe, for Weslaco. That was like a few years ago. I think I mentioned the Astros. I don't know. I think I mentioned this to Coach, maybe not on the air. The Astros did not have any lefties in their bullpen a couple years ago. That was interesting. As we look at it, Weslaco scored 2 in the first, 4 in the second, none in the 3rd and 4th, but 2 in the 5th and 2 in the 6th. As far as San Benito, count by the way 2-1, they scored 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, and 1 in the 5th. So that's how the scoring breaks down so far. And that ball high, 3-1 the count. You know, Cat would like to get this over. I heard it. Was that a truck horn I just heard? Sounded like it in the background. Thought it might be one of those big trucks coming out of the HEB warehouse next door. We'll see with this lead if Cat's just going to throw something down the middle, maybe something hard. Especially with the count 3-1, and this being the batter's first appearance of the night. And did that hit the did that hit her or the bat? Yeah, it hit the bat, I think. It hit the end of the bat. the bottom of the bat and fouled off. Now you see her talk to Coach Lira, Denise Lira. Again, we appreciate the time she spent with me before the game. And no offense, but when she told me she coached 13 years in college, I said, I was going to say, you look too young. Of course, at my age, everybody looks young. But I was going to say, for you to be 17 years of coaching experience, 13 there and 4 here at San Benito, what did you start coaching, like 15? But maybe she's found the fountain of youth. I don't know. But that's a compliment. And that is going to be a strikeout. So 2 outs. And now we are going to have Jordan Ramos come to the plate. She's the catcher. If she would get on, we would actually have a chance for the flex player to bat. She has not batted yet tonight, Layla Lopez. She would get a chance to come to the plate. She has been playing left field. A 1-0 the count. I think Kat's had about maybe 3 or 4 strikeouts tonight since she's come in and relieved Julie Rodriguez. That's fouled back. Again, not that many home games left, maybe 1 or 2 left now for Weslaco. I think just 1, right? Is it Rivera? Rivera at the end of the month. Yeah, no, he's right. We're talking about, I talked to Coach before the game. There's 2 away games. I'm not sure who they are, but I know runs Los Fresnos, right? And Hannah and Los Fresnos away, and Rivera at home. Short to first, and that is going to be the game. So Weslaco, the Lady Panthers over San Benito. Final score 10-3 in 32 6A district action. And for my associates tonight, appreciate their work. And again, want to thank Adrian De Leon and Vincent Barry, Vinny Barry, for their job for K-West tonight. We're glad you watched on YouTube. I'm Scott Harrison. So long from Weslaco, Texas. Have a great weekend.